right, so you want to hear real quick? So
Yeah, what you got?
Yanks and Marlins, my over/under.
Okay.
I got A's and Nats as my underdog.
Okay.
And I got Brewers White Sox as my pick.
We're in. In like flame, baby.
Didn't watch. I'm mid.
Oh, come on, man. You didn't tune in to Eagles preseason last night?
Did they win or lose?
They lost by 1.
Yeah.
The season's over, man.
It's over.
It's over.
Did
They already lost.
you see the guy that hit for $91,000
No.
on a 12-team parlay? He had 11 other teams that he needed the Ravens to win on the money line last night. Can you imagine sweating your ass off from that one?
Ravens, what? That's like 25 preseason games in a row.
It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. They haven't lost since 2015.
No. I'm terrible at what I do.
Come on, man. Don't be so self-deprecating.
24th, that is.
Game's hard. Morning, Mr. Jansen. How are we doing this morning? All right, so I'm going to keep you to about 12:05.
Yeah. That's psycho.
We always appreciate you, Johnny.
I'm backstage.
Backstage,
Yeah. I guess I need to mute this.
We're doing a special Eagles preseason baseball.
we love you too.
Do I need my mic on but the speaker off? Is that how that works?
Yeah, keep the mic on. Yeah, and then you want to turn your volume all the way down.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I think I'm ready to go.
Hey, what's up, Sean Grace?
Oh my God, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah. Yes, Russ seconds. It is Sunday, baby.
What did you say?
Headphones on.
And the best baseball talk you can find. So get back with your dedicated support yourself almost. From Phillies announcer Greg Murphy and Green Legion Radio Express that representing Flying Phils and TQ around the league right now on Baseball Brunch. Play on. Yeah.
Good morning, Philadelphia. Welcome in to Bud Light Baseball Brunch, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club here on a beautiful Sunday in the Delaware Valley, powered by Green Legion Radio on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler in Philadelphia, WDASA, and around the rest of the Delaware Valley. Or simply download that iHeartRadio app, and you can listen to us anywhere, crystal clear, worldwide. Yes, sirree, we are here right outside of Citizens Bank Park. Xfinity Live, like we are every Sunday or before a home game on a Sunday, as we lead you into Phillies Twins this afternoon. I'm Chris Sack of Green Legion Radio, and I am sitting alongside the walking wounded Phillies broadcaster Greg Murphy. Murph, how are you this morning, my friend?
I am upright and doing just fine. Yeah, that's not always the case, but for right now, doing all
It
right.
wasn't the other night in the booth, apparently.
No, I took a tumble, took a spill in the booth.
Have the guys found that video yet?
If they have, it'll be up on the internet in a matter of minutes. Yeah, I lucked out the way it all played out because there wasn't a whole lot of witnesses. Had I not put the story out there myself, no one would even know, except for two, Mike Cooper. But yeah, it happens to us when we get older, like myself. So, just gonna keep
You look
keep
good,
it on
though.
until I can.
But hey, the Phillies are playing well.
Yes.
we've had a good
What a
week.
week.
Yeah, crazy. Like I'm sitting there. I know we're going to dive further into it, but man, Wednesday night, I'm like, we could pretty much just talk about Wednesday night. I mean, really, we have nothing else to talk about on the show. But the Phillies offense is starting to become resurgent here. We're starting to get the ball rolling just in the nick of time because that wild card race, the Phillies are starting to separate themselves.
Yeah, which is great to see. You know, someone said to me the other day, gee, I hope they're not peaking too soon. I'm like, really? That's the issue we're going to have today with the series. I mean, look at the Braves. Are they peaking too soon? I'll take what the Braves have been able to do all season. Look, not having to sweat it out like they did a year ago. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the Phillies clinched second to last day of the season? Or third
It was third to last.
Third to last
Yeah,
day.
we finished the season on a Wednesday. It was a Monday night.
Exactly. So the first game down in Houston was the clincher.
And even then, it was tight going into that weekend because we got swept in Chicago, and then we lost the first game against Washington.
We don't necessarily need to go through that again.
No.
So separation is good. And look, the offense has looked really good. Let's hope they can keep it up. You know, last night they got stymied by a really good pitcher.
There they always do with Pablo Lopez.
And today they're going to face another pretty good one in Sonny Gray. So, you know, you hope that the bats can stay locked in, they can score some runs today, and pull out this victory. And then you have to hope that the bats stay alive on the road. You know, we haven't seen that kind of offensive production consistently on the road so far. Toronto, Washington coming up this week. But it's been good to see the other teams that are in the wild card race are also have their fair share of warts and
No doubt about it.
yeah. So, you know, I like where the Phillies are at. You and I were just talking. There's 44 games to play. You know, if they can win 25 of them, they're going to be in a really good spot.
Yeah, that gets you to 90 wins.
Yeah.
I think let me say 25 and 19.
Yeah.
It gets you to 90 wins.
Think about
last
that.
year they won 87. It makes you feel pretty comfortable
Yeah.
about where you're at going into the playoffs. And it's not just a matter of this year. You don't want to just get into the playoffs, and you don't want to squeak into the playoffs.
No.
Yeah, last year was awesome. Don't take anything away from it. It was incredible, amazing, everything about Red October last year. But you don't want to go on the road in that wild card series, best of three.
Sure.
You see what happens here at the bank in October. That's what you want in the best of three, and put one of these teams in that vice grip as they have to come in here and deal with us.
Yeah.
The fan base and this team.
I agree with you. And so if they do, kind of play out the way that you and I were talking about at 25 and 19, which I think is really doable for a team like the Phillies, and you look at their schedule going forward and what they have, 25 wins out of their next 44 is certainly within their reach. But what I was going to say was, think about that, folks. That means we're going to lose 19 more times, okay? In our scenario, which is a good scenario, gets them to 90 wins, they're still going to lose 19 more times. That's baseball. That's going to happen. But if they can get those 25 wins, 90 wins on the season, and improvement from the 87 they won a year ago, I think that gets them in that top wild card spot, and I do think that makes a huge difference.
Hey, I'm right there with you on that as well. This first segment is brought to you by our friends at State Farm. Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Dave Russo is ready to help you combine home and auto in South Jersey and Pennsylvania. Call Dave today at 856-740-5012. That's 856-740-5012. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Average annual per household savings are based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. All right, Murph, let's give some tickets away here because I wanted to go to this game because it's a Friday night and, it's in the summertime and they're playing the Cardinals, but the Cardinals are crap.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about that anymore. And plus, I'm going to be gone that weekend. I'll be coming back that Saturday so we can do our show here at Xfinity Live. So I'm going to give away those tickets on the next couple of shows here for Phillies Cardinals on Friday, August 25th at 7:05. Today, we're going to talk about, give me a song that you hear that reminds you of a movie.
Yeah, so great topic, by the way.
I love the fact. Yeah,
Great topic.
right. I love it when you say it.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's funny.
So many options.
Krista and I were driving over here for the show today, and I was looking through your notes, and I said, okay, I need to come up with 5 songs that make us think of a movie. And within 45 seconds, we had 5. We had 10.
So this is a partial Murph Krista
yes,
top 5?
we're kind of in lockstep when it comes to the songs.
What
So,
a unit.
not necessarily the movies, but the songs.
Yes.
We're both music. I wanted to say aficionados. That's not how you
Movie buffs.
movie buffs and music buffs.
There you go.
Okay, so I do have 5, and again, folks who listen to our show on a regular basis probably can have an idea of the time of the movies. The the era of the movies that I've kind of locked into. But I'll give you my first one because I talk about this movie all the time. It's one of my all-time favorites, and that's movie Vacation, and the song Holiday Road.
Yeah.
You cannot hear Holiday Road and not think of Chevy Chase.
That's the only time I hear Holiday Road.
It's only linked to the movie, and if you hear it, you think of Chevy Chase, and you think of the family truckster, and you think of the Grand Canyon and all of that. So Holiday Road. Yeah. So Holiday Road is on my list, and again, it gives you a little bit of a hint of the era that I'm working in. You're not going to find any recent movies on my particular list, so that might help some folks at home.
See, for me, I'm going to go with Freebird, Forrest Gump.
Okay.
The scene of the movie.
What a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Oh,
You
man.
can pick a couple songs for that, but Freebird.
A bunch of them, but you think about the part. I think it's when Forrest is with Lieutenant Dan, and it's New Year's Eve, and he's wondering what Jenna is doing, and and she's like in that hotel room, and everyone's like, they're drunk or they're high or whatever they are. They're all over the place, and she stands up on, like she's about to jump off the balcony, and
she's high on cocaine or
whatever she's got going on. But whenever you hear that part of the song, there's so many good ones. So many good ones, and I like.
You have magic legs.
Lieutenant Dan, you've got legs. Yeah, it's a great movie. Slash, do you have one for us?
I did. I was telling you guys before the show. Titanic, my heart.
You have to bring Celine into every show.
No, because he knows who he's playing to. He's pandering to me.
Yeah, I know. Have you seen the movie Titanic?
A million times.
Oh, you have? Yeah. Okay. I thought you were like
every time it's on Paramount.
Does it always end with the boat crashing? I'm just curious. I know I did. My bad. Sorry about that. Well, Titanic 2 is completely different. So.
All right. So in order to win, you must answer in the comments section on the Green Legion Radio YouTube channel, the Green Legion Facebook page, or our Twitter handle @Green Legion. Our collective favorite answer will win at the beginning of the final segment. Happy birthday, Dad! Dad's birthday is on Tuesday. So just want to give him a big shout out. And also, it's great to see Patrick is back out here with us today. First time we've seen Pat all season. I don't think I've seen Pat since the playoff run last year. Was it Christmas time? You look great, by the way. I know the reasons behind it, but you look great. O'Doul's on me at any time that you want. All right? Let's get out of the box, shall we? Let's talk about some Phillies baseball. 5-2 week here. We're looking at the prospects here of a 7-3 homestand.
Yes.
They're a 10-game homestand, which is great because not only 2 days off this week, so they get to rest up a little bit on Monday and Thursday, but then they have a 5-game road swing, and then they come back for another 9-game homestand. I know you like this; you get to sleep in your own bed, but so it plays well into your favor.
Those Ritz-Carlton beds and the Four Seasons, what dumps!
$25, $30 coffees they got going on. But this week, they've done a fantastic job of separating themselves in the wild card race from the rest of the contenders. Yesterday, not so much. I think everybody gained a game back on them in the wild card standings, except for the Giants. Yeah, everybody else. And a half game for the Reds because they got postponed. They're playing a doubleheader today. But, Murph, we alluded to this earlier on in the show. The big news of the week. Wednesday night's pitching performance from the big trade deadline acquisition of Michael Lorenzen through the 14th no-hitter in Phillies history in just his second start and his Phillies debut at Citizens Bank Park. 124 pitches, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Just an incredible, gutsy performance. And there's so many angles that we can dive into this. His family being there, T-Mac asking the question about, what his father would think. I want to start here first. Rob Thompson having the wherewithal to know the moment and to give him that moment. And, 20 pitches, for the last 2 innings, and he got quick outs.
20 pitches, be efficient. That's what he said.
I loved every bit of that, and I loved what he said after the game, where he felt like, that was going to be his last batter. Dominic Smith was going to be his last batter, and him joking around about him having to throw on a bulletproof vest and some Kevlar.
Accurate.
Yes, to go ahead and do that. But if you were there at the ballpark that night to experience it, it's funny, 14, I've been at 2 of them. I was at Roy Halladay's no-hitter in the postseason in 2010 and Cole Hamels no-hitter at Wrigley Field in 2015. What an incredible atmosphere. Night, there was only 30,000 people there, and it felt like it was packed.
It sounded like there was 60,000 there for sure. the crowd did an amazing job. And, we had Lorenzen on the post-game show as well and asked him, well, I didn't even ask him. He just said, when I came back out in the ninth inning after knowing that I was going to have an opportunity to come out in the ninth, when I came up the steps and the crowd went crazy, he said, I was tired. He said, but that gave me such a burst of energy and adrenaline. He said, it was just amazing. It's been a while since Michael Lorenzen has played in front of a crowd like that. I mean maybe never.
Anaheim,
right?
Detroit, they're not hotbeds.
Yeah, but even when Cincinnati, Cincinnati can be great, but when he was there, not so much.
Yeah.
So he has had that opportunity, and he said I came up those steps and just was flushed with adrenaline, and he was able to get in there and do what he had to do. You're right, Dominic Smith was his last batter. And
he's such a Phillies killer too. That was my biggest worry.
Oh, me too.
He's
He
killed us
is a Philly
forever.
killer. I totally agree with you. Give Rob Thompson and Caleb Coughlin a ton of credit because I had Caleb on the show the next day and he and I were talking about it. And he said, everybody wants to give these guys that opportunity, but you really are thinking long term. You're really trying to, weigh the benefits of the team versus the benefits of the individual. And knowing that he was going to have a little extra rest coming up, he had been on extra rest and was going to have a little extra. That was what put him over the top. So it was like this perfect scenario that worked out for Michael Lorenzen. And they told him 20 more pitches, and I think he got to 19 of those 20, and but able to get the job done. So many great storylines, as you mentioned. It was a truly magical night at the ballpark. It was really, for a lot of us, a magical day. We got our rings earlier in the morning.
Congratulations, by the way. I was going to talk about it in the second segment.
It was the culmination of that day. It was a beautiful night. As you mentioned, the crowd was great. And then we watched a no-hitter. Baseball can be such a beautiful sport. And I think that's why so many of us love it the way we do.
Yeah.
Because you don't get that kind of thing. You don't get those kinds of stories in the other sports the way they unfold. Michael Lorenzen lost his father 2 years ago. It was his dad's birthday the next day. You mentioned Tom asked him in the post-game interview what his dad would have thought. And they're just special moments. And Lorenzen, Dave Dombrowski walked into the clubhouse during the celebration, and Kyle Schwarber and Reese Hoskins yelled out, "Hey, Dave, nice trade!" And you think about it, you add a guy at the deadline, he does that. Wow.
Normally we see these kind of nuggets for Can You Believe It at the end of the show, but I was joking around with Pat, probably Thursday, Friday. I'm like, we could do the whole entire second segment today. Could be Can You Believe It's on everything that's happened in Major League Baseball over the last week.
Sure.
There's so much good stuff that has happened this week in the course of the game. But here's just a couple nuggets on that. Sarah Lang's Michael Lorenzen is the fifth pitcher to throw a no-hitter in his first home game with a franchise, joining Don Cardwell, who was the last one to do it in 1960, 63 years ago. And then if the other ones were pre-1900, right? 1898, 1892, and 1884. And another one, this is courtesy of Ryan Lawrence 21 on Twitter, or X, whatever the heck it is now. Michael Lorenzen is one of 4 Major League Baseball pitchers to come out of Fullerton High School in Fullerton, California. All 4 have thrown no-hitters. The Big Train, Walter Johnson, Steve Busby, Mike Warren, and now Michael Lorenzen.
4 pitchers out of that high school have made it to the big leagues. All 4 have thrown no-hitters. That in and of itself is remarkable.
If you live in Fulton, California, put your kid on a mound.
Yeah, put your kid on a mound and send him to that high school. Right, absolutely. And Busby threw 2 no-hitters. So there's 5 no-hitters.
5 no-hitters
out of those 4
total.
guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I did not read that portion, but hey,
That's impressive.
it's there. Very impressive. Other cool things that happened on Wednesday night. And this right here, up until probably about the 5th or 6th inning, and I'm putting Carson to bed. My 4-year-old. I'm putting him to bed, and I'm laying there, and I'm following on my game cast, and I'm sitting there going, he hasn't allowed a hit yet tonight. And then, but before that was the really cool moment for 28-year-old Weston Wilson, who was called up last week during our show last week when Brandon Marsh got put on the injured list, made his Major League debut on Wednesday and crushed his 3rd pitch that he ever saw. He swung at the one before, crushed the 3rd pitch that he ever saw into the left field stands. First Philly to do so since Marlon Anderson on September 8th, 1998 against the hated Mets. And I'll tell you what, as a dad, and I know you as a father as well, the moment of them panning into his father crying in that moment is something truly special. At that time, I was looking forward to the post-game interview with Weston Wilson, and then Michael Lorenzen stole the moment.
Yeah, he did. It was funny because I saw Weston the next day, and I said, hey, how about Lorenzen kind of stealing your juice, right? And obviously he laughed and he said, players love to be a part of that kind of thing, but be a part of no hitters. Here he was making his major league debut, hits the home run, the family being there. Some of my favorite moments as the field reporter for the Phillies when I was doing television was the opportunity to interview the families on guys making their major league debuts, and very often we would wait until after their first at bat. So we would.
Taryn Hatcher did that too.
Okay, yeah. So we would wait.
Yeah, I still can't believe they replaced her with you with her. I mean, like, what were they thinking?
That's nice. But
did I
you
throw you
totally
off?
derailed my thought. So what I was
You normally wait until the first at bat.
because you don't want to take away from that moment.
Right.
But we would set it up ahead of time. Hey, we're going to come back after his first at bat and have a conversation with you. To have that opportunity to talk to Weston's family that day would have been amazing because you could see just what it meant. I mean, of course, it means the world. As you said, if you're a parent, even if you're not, you can probably relate to how proud you would be to watch your son do that. So anytime a guy makes it to the big leagues, it's a pretty proud moment for the family. But then to have a moment like that, pretty awesome.
Nick Castellanos joined the party, hitting career home runs 199 and 200 that night. Liam Castellanos, I think he needs to be on the team payroll because this kid is everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, like he was high-fiving every big moment that happened that night. He was by the family. We're down on the field after the game. And then Johan Rojas is the best fielding center fielder the Phillies have had since Shane Victorino. I mean, what this kid does, how he picks it.
I was going to say Garrett now.
He makes it look so easy. I mean, in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Shane, before that, Doug Lambeau was a pretty good center fielder, but Shane could go anywhere. That's the reason why, like, you could take Pat Burrell and you could take Raul Ibanez and you could just shade him to the left field line, left field foul line, because Shane would cover everything out there in center field. But 9 putouts.
Yeah.
9 putouts that night, which is the most by outfielder in official no-hitter since 1900.
Yeah, no, but his defense has been special. Line drives in the gap now, you just expect them to be tracked down, which is it is a departure from what we had been seeing earlier in the season. And whether that was, Brandon Marsh is a good center fielder, but Johan Rojas is an elite defender.
Yeah.
And we knew that about him. I mean, that was the MO of him coming up. Whether or not his offense was going to play at this level remained to be seen.
Big home run. Big home run the other night.
Yeah, he'll get this first home run. They all count, as Kyle Schwarber said. They all count. But, it's just been so great to see him. I read somewhere the other day, defensive run saved is kind of a weird stat. It's a little subjective. But if you project a full season for Johan Rojas, something like 36 or 39 or something like that, which is a ridiculous number. When you stop to think about, 39 runs prevented over the course of the season. So he is awesome to watch out there. Now, Michael A. Taylor, over the course of the last 2 games, has kind of stolen the show a little bit. It's a big place. But Johan Rojas is something special to watch out there. So.
Absolutely. Hey, don't hang out alone in the man cave for baseball this season. Try hanging out at Cheerleaders with sexy entertainers, $4 domestic beers, Jamieson specials, and awesome game day experiences all season long. That's right. Stop in before, during, or after the game, not only to see your favorite entertainers, but also your chance to have the best game day experience. Epic game day experiences are at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, where champions play. Cheerleaders is open daily from noon until 2 a.m. All right, coming up in the next segment, we're going to talk about a red-hot Trey Turner. We're going to go around the league, and we're going to do a tribute to the 1983 and 1993 National League Championship Phillies right here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. This is Bud Light Baseball Brunch presented to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. We'll be right back after this. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks a lot.
One down.
Say that again? Hit me. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, not on my list, but yeah, that's a good one.
That's a bunch of movie.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many. Like back then, it felt like every movie had like a featured song. I said to Zach, it's almost like it's the Kenny Loggins memorial list because he's got like on my list. I think he's got forever. It's Kenny, all Kenny Loggins, you know. So, yep. Well, I don't want to say I'm on.
We're on StreamYard, baby.
It's a pretty obvious one. Yeah. How you doing? How are you? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. How are you? Thank you. Appreciate that. Very nice to meet you as well. Well, thank you. Very mindful.
He's not basic. He is.
Thank you. We appreciate it. What do you think about today? You get this one?
Always.
I think so. It's not customer for them pitching Sonny Gray, but hopefully we get the bats going again. So, yeah, it should be a good one. Okay.
But everybody's picking such a long scene time.
Awesome.
I'm being serious. Like the breakdowns and everything we get. We learn so much from you guys in the work as I do.
Well, we're lucky that we have Scott Fransky as the anchor of our radio squad. I mean, he's as good as it gets. So, yeah, we're at commercial break right now. But yeah, so this is Chris and I do a Sunday morning show on Fox Sports The Gambler, which is what's the
2.5.
2.5. Yeah. So then I'll be back on 94 in about an hour. Yeah. So
I'm the low light of his day.
not true. Yeah. Yeah, I will. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, wouldn't have it any other way, right? It's good to meet you both. Yeah, enjoy the day.
Take care, guys. Hey, guys.
Hi, guys. Uh,
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
He deserves an Emmy for that.
Yeah. I'm Marconi.
Welcome back. Second here. It's Sunday morning. Phillies Twins this afternoon at 1:35 first pitch, which means it'll more likely be around 1:38 if you follow the Fransky LA model.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. You know, big moment happening. I don't know if you're going to mention this or not, but big moment happening right around 1:33, I would imagine. Because Larry will not be on the very top of the broadcast because he's going to be throwing out the first pitch today.
Oh, very
He's
nice.
the only player to be on both the 83 and the 93 National Championship games. So he's representing that. He's throwing the first pitch out. Ozzie Virgil is catcher from the 83 team. So it's going to be a cool moment for our buddy Larry as he gets down on the field. And I got to believe he is going to get a rousing ovation. He always does when he gets introduced down the field. Today all the alumni will get introduced. And Larry getting the honor of throwing the first pitch, which I think is awesome.
So does that mean Stock is going to be sitting in for like the top of the first?
That means Scott will be on his own.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure because I know that Stock did. Maybe half a Stock popped in the other night on the Friday night roundtable, and I think you guys were trying to just make sure to let him know that he wasn't getting paid.
Yeah, I made sure. I told him. I said, "Look, we're not paying you for this, pal. You can jump in on the phone all you want and try to be a part of the Friday night roundtable, but my budget is what it is. You're not getting cash from it."
For those of you, before I go ahead and I do my live read at the top of this, if you guys do not tune in to the Friday night roundtable after every Phillies game,
Friday night,
every Friday night game, you are missing out. It is entertaining. It is quality radio. It's just quality entertainment. To listen to all you guys, because you know why? It's like, you get get a part of the personalities of all the broadcasters throughout the course of a broadcast, whether it's on TV or on radio. But you guys really allow yourselves to open up and feel like, just regular, everyday people. You guys have great jobs. You guys live the dream doing what you're doing, covering the Phillies. And for a lot of you guys, a team that you guys growing up following or playing for. But what you guys do on Friday nights, it just really allows us into the booth and behind the scenes, and we get to know you guys just a little bit better.
Yeah, it's funny because we always say some nights are better than others. Always more fun coming in after a win. Getting a chance.
We had fun last night.
Yeah, what's that? No, it would not have been. It would not have been as enjoyable. So when they win on Friday night, we can kind of let our hair down a little bit and kind of let you.
For those of you that haven't.
Yeah, which is me and Francie. Yeah. But
Ben Davis.
yeah, this is the real. That's a win. Don't tell anybody.
I thought it was Chris Wheeler.
Nope. You're from the world again.
I had to take the shot on that one. Hey, all right. So this segment is brought to you by Premier Window Cleaning, which is the leading window cleaning company in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. Family owned and operated with 30 years experience, they offer commercial and residential window cleaning, pressure washing, parking garage cleaning, graffiti removal, post-construction cleaning. Every employee is trained, certified, and goes through an extensive background check. At Premier Window Cleaning, your satisfaction level needs to be 100%, as no job is complete until you're happy. With clients like Chop Roberts and the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, you cannot go wrong. For more information and a full list of their services, give them a call, 267-534-5198. That's 267-534-5198. Go to their website, WeHateDirtyWindows.com. That's WeHateDirtyWindows.com. Murph, I teased it going into break, but man, these 9 games is exactly the magic elixir that Trey Turner needed. He has really found his stroke over the course of this homestand. Whether you want to chalk it up to the ovation on last Friday night, or you want to just say, hey, we're playing the Royals, the Nationals, and now the Twins are barely above 500, but they're first place in the American League Central. 9 games, 6 runs, 10 RBI, 6 of them are doubles, 16 hits, 6 of them doubles, 2 home runs. He's sitting .457 with a 1.286 OPS. On top of that, he's been playing pretty sound defensively as well. This was the Trey Turner that we were expecting to get when we signed into that 11-year, $330 million contract.
Yeah, and this is the Trey Turner that I've been saying I think we're going to see. It took a lot. It took a lot longer than I think anybody would have anticipated. When he if I remember correctly, his hit was good. But then he went into the slump kind of in the beginning of May.
It was decent, man. It was decent. Like you were waiting, like he's like Schwarber. Notoriously slow. Yeah, but he's like Schwarber. That notoriously slow start, but he wasn't doing the big major things we expected him to do.
Right, and I think for baseball fans that can put things in perspective and take a step back, you expected him to find his stroke and become the player that he has been for his entire career. It just makes more sense that he's that guy than he is the guy that we just seen. But it did. It took a long time. You mentioned the ovation, and you mentioned the teams that are playing. I think it's a combination of both. I think it's fair to say that the pitching that the Phillies have seen on this homestand has not been elite pitching, and the Phillies have taken advantage of that. However, over the last 2.5 months, Trey Turner has seen a lot of bad pitching and not had the success that he's had. Baseball is such a game of confidence, and these guys are all confident in their abilities, but hey, they're also human. And when you struggle and you start to question what you've been doing, you start to question pretty much everything, you lose confidence. And I think Trey was having a crisis of confidence. And then you come in to the ballpark on that day after having a dreadful series on the road, and you get picked up by 45,000 plus, not just once, but over the course of 2 or 3 days, several times. That can't help but help your confidence. And I think I don't think so. But it was a part of it. It was a part of it. And Trey almost acknowledged that himself, when he did his post-game comments like, thank you. I needed that kind of thing, right? The billboards go up and the curtain call. That's all of his way of saying that this could have gone the other way, and I'm not sure that would have helped me when it went this way, and I think it did help me. And so, you know what? Cool. Now he's got to keep it up. Hopefully the Trey we're seeing right now is the Trey we're going to see right through September and into the postseason. There's no reason to believe it won't be because that's the guy that they signed to the contract. But it's a small sample size, but I'm pretty encouraged that Trey is pretty close to being there.
How Stella got her groove back, right? I mean,
Exactly.
how Turner got his groove back. We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
I know you kind of talked about this. The other day, the day of the no-hitter, and Weston Wilson and Castellanos and all the good things that happened on Wednesday, you got your National League champion ring.
Me and 250 other
And I love every bit of it. I know we had talked at the end of last season on our final show. I wish it was the bigger one. I wish it was the better one. And then, hey, listen, we're going to do everything we can to get you back there and have another shot at it this year. But man, so proud of you. The last few years, us doing this show and to see where the team has come over the last few years, and our show and how our relationship has grown. I'm so excited for you, and nobody deserved it more than you.
Well, I don't know about that.
No. I'm talking about think about it though. The players are the ones out there on the field that are doing it. But you put up with all those rough years after that great run. You started on the TV side in 2012, and the COVID year comes along, and everything that comes along with that, and they wind up getting rid of the position and then doing part time in 2021 and having to deal with me, pretty much all the time. But I'll tell you, that right there, you paid the price, you paid the dues to be able to beat the team last year and have that moment to get that ring. You were just as big a part of it as anybody else over the last 10 years.
Thank you. And I feel unbelievably blessed to be in the position that I'm in, to be with the Phillies, back with the Phillies now on the radio side, and getting a chance to be with the team. It was a really special morning. I don't know how many people, but I want to say it was close to 300 that got the rings. It was like a college graduation. One by one, we all got called up by name, and you got your ring, you put it on, you got a picture with your vice president of your department, along with Dave Dombrowski, Sam Gold, and it was cool. And it was, I think it took about 2.5 hours, but everybody was just into it. John Milton got up and spoke and said exactly what you said. I wish we were the bigger one, and we're going to get the bigger one.
Yes, we are.
But let's get the bigger one. John's all about winning that World Series before.
Wants to get that damn trophy back.
Yeah, we all got our So it was really cool. It was really spectacular. And to see it so far.
Right down here in a couple weeks.
And I should have. We're leaving for the road tonight, so I want to bring as many people on the road. But if there's a show where I'll bring it down here. I'll bring it down here. For a kid that grew up here in South Jersey, born in Phillies fan, it's like as long as I can remember, have a ring with this organization now. It's pretty darn special. It's not something I ever thought would happen.
I love the picture of you and Kristen together.
Yeah,
both your rings.
She's got two. Because Kristen got a 2009. She started with the Phillies in 2009, so she got the 09 ring. And I used to, take the 09 ring, put it on, and be like, this thing is amazing. It's half the size of the 2022. I mean, it's half the size. It's unbelievable, the difference. The 2022 National League Championship ring is bigger than the World Series ring. Wow. Yeah, that's how big they are. And they're enormous.
John Middleton must have heard our show a couple years ago when I called him cheap.
John Middleton is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That is so far from being true.
Do you think he's tuned in right now? I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry. I
should be sorry.
Hey, all right. So speaking of National League champions, today we're going to honor two of them. The 1983 team and the 1993 team. Obviously, I was born in 1986, so you can speak to the 1983 half of this, and then I'll go on the 93 side. So you go ahead and talk about 83.
Yeah, I mean, I was a 12-year-old kid. They obviously won the World Series in 80 with that special group, and then the 83 team was what they called the Louise kids because they brought all of these Hall of Fame caliber players in, and with like a one last chance with Carlton still on the staff, Xfinity's still there, obviously. One last chance to try and get there. Gary Matthews at that time, and they did. They got to the World Series. They end up losing to the Baltimore
Orioles. They won game one and lost the next four.
I remember watching that series and obviously being disappointed. But you think back to that '83 team and what they were able to accomplish, and some of the names that were on Cleveland. We've lost a couple of them at this point, but to see these guys back here this week, it's always fun to see the alumni back. But when you get a chance to see the guys that you don't see, we see the 08 guys all the time. We see the 80 guys all the time. We see the 93 guys all the time. We don't see the 1983 team very often, right? And they're all back, and a lot of them back. And
Pete Rose back today?
He does not have that. He does not.
I didn't know if they should have a special invite for him and Lenny Dykstra.
No, that didn't happen.
We can't put him in a UFC cage.
That might be the best place for it. But it's special. I love that we can host. But when you're celebrating, the anniversaries of these meetings, it's really.
Yeah, for me, the '93 team, that's a lot like you. The '93 team was my first love in life. I remember my dad had a 16-game plan. A couple of years before that, leading into it, I was 7 years old, and I just remember vivid memories. I don't remember my first game, and probably my dad doesn't either. But I remember we went to a game that year at the Vet, and it was against the Reds, and it was the hottest day of the year, and they were giving out blue Acme jackets. Jacket day at the ballpark.
Well done.
The Phillies were blowing the team out. They were blowing the Reds out. And we left at the 56th inning to go home and go swimming. And my dad brought me to my first playoff game that year, Game 2 of the '93 NLCS against the Braves. I still break his chops about it because we could have went to Game 6, but my dad wanted to have a guaranteed game. So, it wasn't because Frederick Griffin hit 2 home runs that day, and one of them still has not yet to land from orbit. But sitting in the 600 level with my dad, just special memories that you can't put a price on things. I say it to people all the time. The point of having tickets for sporting events is for the memory and stashing in the memory bank. I'm not here to make money off of my tickets. I'm here to make sure that I'm here for those great moments and memories that happen at this ballpark throughout the course of my life, and I want that to be the same values for my kids. The '93 Phillies, Darren Dalton, John Krug, Dave Hollins, Kevin Stocker, Nicky Morandini, Lenny Dykstra for all of his faults. Kurt Schilling was just a complete and utter machine. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Mitch Williams, stand-up guy. So many great players and personalities on that team that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. For them bringing me in as being a baseball fan.
Yeah, and I was talking about getting a chance to see some of the guys we don't often get to see. We used to see Dave Hollins a lot. Because he was a scout for the Phillies, so he would come in and during their meetings times, and we would get to see Dave. But it's been a couple of years since we've seen Dave. I saw him yesterday. Got a big hug from Dave Hollins. If you would have told me in 1993, young Phillies reporter back then, I was covering the team completely out of my depth and just completely in all of the guys in the clubhouse and petrified of them all at the same time, including Dave Hollins. If you would have told me that, fast forward 30 years and I'd be getting, hugs from Dave Hollins, I'd have told you, crazy.
That's
First of all, Dave doesn't hug anybody, but he is such a wonderful guy. Yeah, and, in my relationship with John, as a friend, John Krug is a friend of mine. If you would have told me that back in 1993, I would have told you were nuts. But it is special to see these guys, and it's special to watch them interact with one another. We had Bobby Thigpen. We're going to have Bobby Thigpen on the show today. Bobby Thigpen spent 2.5 months on that '93 team, as did Roger Mason, right? Yeah. Two guys that came in midway through the season, but both of them talked about just that intense 2.5 month period where they spent time with these guys, and the bonds that they have forever. And it's just cool to see them reconnect and relive so many of those great moments. It's what it's all about. And the Phillies, they do Alumni Weekend as good, if not better, than everybody. And it's just a lot.
Real quick before we go to break, I'd be remiss if I did not mention this because it happened after our show last week. Orioles broadcaster Kevin Brown was suspended indefinitely, and he was brought back to the broadcast on Friday night. He released a statement, which I think is, crap in my mind. I don't think he wrote a single word of it. I think it was mainly done by the PR department for the Orioles. But what a complete and absolute disgrace. The Orioles are one of the best stories in Major League Baseball this season, and to make themselves a mockery with this issue I mean, there was a graphic that was made up for it. There's no surprise that he was going to talk about the Orioles' struggles at Tropicana Field against the Rays over the previous few years. I know Tom McCarthy took a little subtle shot the other night at the Orioles. Your thoughts on the situation being a broadcaster for the Phillies over the last decade plus?
Yeah, my feeling is this. I feel very badly that Kevin Brown had to get dragged through a situation like that. He did what each of us do each and every day, try to, and that is report the facts on the team that you're covering. What he did is absolute broadcasting 101, and he did absolutely nothing wrong. And it was an embarrassment the way the Orioles organization treated him, and I just feel badly that he had to go through that because he's a young, talented guy in our business, and I tip my cap to his ability to do the job, and to just have to go through the mental stress of, did I just ruin my career by doing what everybody else is doing? It's not. And we've seen instances where broadcasters have done really dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So, and those people, you say, hey, that's on you. Or for what Kevin did, we do every night, every single night. We'll point out negative things about the Phillies, and for 29 organizations, that's okay. And for one, apparently, it was not. And I hope the Orioles are embarrassed by what happened. I don't know if they are. He's back, and that's great. I'm thrilled that he's back and going to be able to continue to do what he does because we need him in the game. I hope the Orioles learned a valuable lesson. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Green Legion here to tell you that it's time to make your reservations for another amazing Eagle season. Head to greenlegion.com to get signed up for Tampa, LA, Kansas City, Dallas, and Seattle, and get signed up for day trip games for the Jets, the Giants, and the Commodes. Make sure you check out the Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club Bus for those day trips as well. Go to greenlegion.com or call 215-666-5940. That's 215-666-5940. 21 years and counting for the best Eagles road trips around. In our final segment, let's talk some picks from last week. Some of us did well, somebody else not so much. Right here, 102.5 Fox Sports Gambler. We'll be right back after this.
1 point. You would think that you were like running away with this thing.
Story of a girl. She looks so sad in photographs.
I absolutely love her. When she's
You did the 83 games? Wow.
Are these all the ones from my Facebook post?
Yeah.
I got one.
My one vivid
Is that the one
memory
from
of
Jen Stella?
the E3 World Series was going over to like my parents,
Yeah,
family
there's a
friends
couple on there.
that had kids our age.
Him and
There
Jen.
was like 10 of us, all there watching. I think it was the final game where they lost, if I remember correctly. But I remember, obviously being disappointed when they won in '80. I was 9, and we were running around like that. But so great memories. Yeah. Yep. Well, no, but hopefully they'll build the same kind of. I mean, I don't remember the teams in the 50s,
I
but
remember those 70 teams.
I don't remember the 70 teams. My real first memory of the Phillies is 1980. So,
I remember everybody going crazy when they traded their cars.
yeah. See that to me is just stuff I read about. I don't have any memory of that. Right, and I've heard so much about the Whiz Kids that I feel like, but
but I don't have any, and there's still some folks around that do remember them.
That's why I
and
didn't. That's
you
why I
hear
didn't
them
ask
talk
him.
about
I figured
it.
he was sleeping.
They have the same kind of enthusiasm that I have for the 80 team or the 93 team. So, yeah, it's cool.
I was here the day of.
Thanks.
I was at game 4 and game 6 together. I was at game 5 with Phil and said, we're not clicking here. We're going back.
Yeah. I feel like I watched, 120 of those games that year.
We're going.
I have a distinct memory of being all in '93. I was my first year out of college, and I was in college at the very beginning, and I graduated, trying to get into the business. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that song. It was on the radio yesterday. I'm on my home from the show.
Some of the guys you recognize right off the bat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure.
Yeah, I'm right there. No, the first two. You don't need 10. No, that's where it got really bad because
Believe me, I covered that team. They all were. John wasn't any better. That was a pain in the butt.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Yeah, but if you had to cover him,
You gotta get the part. Yeah. Big hop. Final segment here is Sunday morning. About to become Sunday afternoon as we lead you in. Phillies Twins, 1:35 first pitch. Make sure you guys are in the ballpark early today to salute your favorite Phillies alumni as we honor the 1983 and 1993 National League Championship teams. Exciting stuff. Looking forward to it all. Be watching it on TV as we take part. But we're saluting them here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch at 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. This segment is brought to you by the Ludlam Hotel in Sea Isle City, the fully renovated Ludlam Hotel at 4000 Landis Avenue in Sea Isle City. Yes, it's the old La Costa. Get down there and drink that La Costa lemonade. It is delicious. The hotel is open year-round, and all guests enjoy free Wi-Fi, one free parking spot per room, complimentary beach tags for all registered adults, walking distance to everything. Check out LudlamHotel.com. That's Ludlam, Ludlam, hotel.com. Call them at 609-263-7829. That's 609-263-7829. All your reservation, dining, or entertainment questions, the Ludlam Hotel, your new oasis in Sea Isle City. Murph, let's give these tickets away. Phillies Cardinals, Friday, August 25th at 7:05. Song that reminds you of a movie. Give me the rest of your top 5.
All right, so again, I thought this was really easy. Probably could have come up with 15 pretty easily, but I already gave you Holiday Road.
You're already cutting it in half. You said 30 earlier.
Right, I mean, I could keep going and going and going, but I've got 5, and they're good ones, I think. Holiday Road from the movie Vacation. You can't help but think of Chevy.
Have not heard that on the oldies station yet, but
but
it's still it's vintage to that movie.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. And easy. So I said this is like the Kenny Loggins memorial list because it seems like Kenny Loggins has most of these songs, but Footloose. I mean, right? The whole movie is based on that song.
Pick up your Sunday shoes. Hey,
it's exactly right.
Good job.
So Footloose, you can't help but you hear that, you think of the movie, you think of Kevin Bacon doing his little dance where, picking up.
All 13 was on the other night. Good old Kevin Bacon.
Another good one. All right, Danger Zone, Top Gun. I guess you could talk about the new Top Gun because they played Danger Zone in that too, right?
They probably had.
I think they did, but obviously the original Danger Zone.
I think Jansen's seen that about like 5 or 6 times. He can tell you.
Yeah, sure. Well, hey, that was great. I've seen it twice. That was a good movie, but the original Top Gun, Danger Zone. Again, I'm all right. From Caddyshack, Kenny Loggins. I'm all right. Yeah. All I could think of was the gopher at that point. He's digging up the green on 16, and Bill Murray's having a conniption. So I'm all right from Footloose, and then kind of like your coming of age movie for people my age, which is a long time ago. But The Breakfast Club. Don't you forget about me.
It was on last night.
Great movie.
Once I came back to the couch and it was
I know that whole movie by heart.
and it was 8-0. I watched the last 15 minutes of that before it was Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
All right. Don't you forget about me. So there you go. That's my list.
It's a good jam right there. All right, Murph, let's run down the list here. Stand By Me.
Oh, great one.
Kenny Loggins, Meet Me Halfway, Over the Top.
Okay, great one.
All right. Simple Minds. Simple Minds, Don't You, Breakfast Club.
Yeah, don't you forget about me.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, there we go. All right, Eye of the Tiger, Rocky 3.
Of course.
Just a little bit south of Saskatoon, Slapshot.
Oh, that's obscure. Okay.
My Heart Will Go On, Titanic.
I've never heard of the movie.
Shout, Animal House.
Yeah, I thought about that one.
Time of My Life, Dirty Dancing.
Another good one.
Jump Around, Happy Gilmore.
Nobody put second in the corner.
No, nobody put second.
Happy Gilmore. Okay.
Footloose.
There you go. So I got two on the list.
Born to Be Wild, Easy Rider. Layla, Eric Clapton, Goodfellas.
Oh, okay.
What is this? Is this Ico slash?
I know.
Rain Man?
Yeah.
Okay. Gangsta's Paradise, Dangerous Minds. Say a Little Prayer, My Best Friend's Wedding. I'm surprised that wasn't on your list.
No, you know what? That's a great scene. I don't necessarily. Well, I guess I would associate that with the movie. So yeah, that's fair.
And Wild Thing, Major League.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
All right, that's our list. I'm gonna go.
No, go ahead.
Layla, Goodfellas.
Good fella. All right, look at you coming.
I'll tell you,
coming all the way. Yeah. I think that's your third straight week of referencing Goodfellas.
When they have the guy in the truck and he's frozen with the meat,
Yeah.
like all the guys, like they're finding all the dead bodies all over the place.
Great scene.
Because Jimmy was wiping everybody
You
out.
should see The Godfather.
I do.
Okay.
See, I'm progressing now.
Goodfellas
I'm
is great.
progressing.
Godfather is legendary.
I can finally talk about these things.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go. And Layla's a great song.
All right, so there's two for my list on there, which I think gives me poetic license to go away from both of them, because I didn't think of Stand By Me,
Okay.
and I'm going Stand By Me.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's my vote. So
Slash with the
there you
tiebreaker.
go, Slash.
I think I gotta go with Stand By Me.
Nice.
It's more of a legendary tune.
Yeah, to me, Layla is
I
an
don't-
amazing song.
I don't affiliate with
I-
any movies or Goodfellas.
Yeah,
Just
like
think
it's
of
not the
really
first
good
thing that
song.
pops into my head when I hear Layla. So I would agree with that part. Stand By Me, obviously, yeah, it is the movie. So.
Congratulations to Alicia Mayer.
All right, Alicia Mayer.
And the tickets, a new person winning the tickets this week. Got a lot of new winners this year. I love
Stand
it.
By Me, that was a good one.
All right, Murph. So giving those tickets away. They are out of here. All right, so now let's get to our picks. We got to do this real quick because we still have, can you believe it? We got to talk about the week that is ahead. Murph went 1-2 last week, but you scored the 2 points
That's
with
right.
your underdog Astros in the Bronx. That puts you at 23-25 with 30.5 points. I went 2-1 last week for 3 points. I hit my favorite Orioles and the underdog Mariners. So I'm at 28-20, 35 points on the
So
season.
you're 5 points ahead of me.
I mean, if you want to,
Well, that's what we go by.
you don't want to talk about the half point.
5.5 points.
Are we leaving that out?
No, okay, 5.5 points.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Did you get a half a point? Or did I get a
you got a half a point because you bet
Oh,
somebody
okay.
that was a favorite that was minus 200 plus.
Yeah.
Give me your first pick.
All right, here's my first pick, and I spent a lot of time on these picks this week. I think a solid 4.5 minutes. So, the Brewers and the White Sox are getting together today. The Brewers have something to play for. The White Sox don't. The Brewers only minus 126, which I guess makes me a little nervous. But, I'm taking the Brewers as my favorite for sweep the series, sweep Chicago out. It's in Chicago. I guess that's the one thing the White Sox have going for. I'll take the Brewers.
All right, well, I'll stick in that game because I had the under 8.5 in that game. Brewers, White Sox. Over on Friday night, under last night, Freddie Peralta versus Dylan Cease. I'm going to say that's a low-scoring affair. Under
Neither of those guys
8.5.
have been very good.
Yeah, but I just think I don't think the offenses in either of those teams are that great.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go under
Under
8.5
on the Brewers.
on the Brewers and White Sox. All right, give me your dog.
All right, my dog is, and I have absolutely zero rationale for this, other than, wow, these are two really bad teams, and one of them has to win, one of them has to lose. The A's are playing the Nats today. The A's are the underdog. But they have just as good a chance of beating the Nationals as the Nationals have of beating the A's. Not a great pitching matchup either. So it's just a bad baseball game, and I'm just going to hope the A's win.
Did you see that play last night with the pitcher?
Yes, I
Oh,
did.
God. Yep. The story of the 2023 Oakland Athletics. My favorite is the Padres today. I'm going to go minus 135 at Arizona to win the series over the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have really been struggling. The Padres are still the only team in Major League Baseball over the last 2 weeks. The Royals won 7 in a row. The Nationals then won 4 in a row before we beat them in the first game of the doubleheader on Tuesday. The only team in Major League Baseball had yet to win 4 games in a row. Yeah,
That's crazy.
And they lost last night, so they're still trying to get back up there. So Seth Lugo today versus some guy that's 0-6 with a 7.16 ERA. I think it's fun. You know, it's a PFAADT. He stinks.
Sure.
So I'm going to take the Padres minus 135. Give me your final pick.
All right, over under for me, Yankees and Marlins get together in South Florida. The over under 7, which is a very low over
Yeah,
under.
definitely. Yeah, because Garrett Cole's
Yeah. So Garrett Cole and Yuri Perez, I'm going to take the under, which is against everything that I normally would do, which is probably a good thing. So I'm taking the under 7. Hoping Garrett Cole just has a monster game. Either of these offenses are any good either. So 1 under 7.
I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers as my underdog to continue to help the Phillies this weekend. At San Francisco to sweep them in their weekend set. Dane Dunning 9-4 with a 3.21 ERA against Logan Webb, who's 9-9 with a 3.38 ERA. I'm going with the Rangers. 70 wins on the season. Today is number 71. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? 2 things we found interesting from this past week in Major League Baseball. Murph, give me your first one.
All right, going to the Baltimore Orioles, the good part of that story this year. Ever since calling up Adley Rush, their catcher, Baltimore has yet to be swept in 76 consecutive series. That's the 5th longest streak in MLB history and the longest since the 1942-44 Cardinals. Think about that. That is incredible. 76 consecutive series that they have not been swept. Pretty impressive.
So much young talent on that team, too. So here's one for you. The Marlins, okay, their home run leaders total since 2017. Giancarlo Stanton is at the top of that list. 59 home runs. He only played for the Marlins in 2017.
Wow. How about that?
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I think they were getting a little nervous, so that's the reason why they traded away Garrett Cooper, because he was at 52.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, how about this one from MLB Stats? The Braves are the first team to have tallied 10-plus hits in 10 consecutive games since the Royals did it back in 2016. 10 hits in 10 consecutive games. 9 of those hits were probably home runs, because that's what the Braves do right now. They just mash home runs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This one right here, I always love the misery that comes with the Mets, their fans, anybody that supports them. The Mets on Friday night were the only Major League Baseball team in the modern era to collect 7-plus hits, draw 9-plus walks in a 9-inning baseball game, but not score a single run.
Wow, that's hard to do.
That's hard to do. And you know another thing about the Mets is they're a half game out of last place in National League East.
It's crazy.
Insane. All right, so the week ahead. So today's rubber match with the Twins, alumni weekend. Everybody's going to get on it today. 1983, 1993 Phillies. Day off Monday. 2 games set in Toronto against the Blue Jays. Off day on Thursday, and then we go to Washington for 3 next weekend. Got to keep on stacking these wins. Got to keep on winning these series, and it starts today with the Twins.
Yeah, got to win the series. I think that's exactly what the way you got to think. So win today. It'll be a tough game this
Sonny Gray.
Look, Sonny Gray's a good pitcher. Rangers going to have to be really good today, and the Phil's bats are going to have to come alive. But hopefully they win the series today, head out on the road, and try to keep this momentum going. Toronto has been a house of horrors for the Phillies over the last couple of years. They've got 2 up there before heading to the Nationals, which has been a house of happiness over the last couple of years. So hopefully they can come out of this road trip just 5 games. But winners of 3-2, or hopefully 4-1. That'd be ideal. But it's gonna be tough. But hopefully they play some good baseball.
Sounds great, partner. Appreciate you as always coming out and joining us here at Xfinity Live. Our last show at Xfinity Live is going to be in 2 weeks before the Cardinals game, so make sure you guys come on out and support us here as well. Slash on the board here, the magic man, Kyle Nunnemaker, and the hardest working man in show business, John Jansen, back in the studio. I'm Chris Sack at Green Legion Radio with like a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Howard. We are out of here. Phillies, let's put some runs on the board today, and let's walk away with another series dub. All right, I'm going to turn that volume down real quick.
Good job.
Hey, man. Great show,
you.
brother. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Slash. Tell John I said thanks.
Oh, yeah.